Valor Live, episode 40, Political Failure.
Fantastic. We are extremely professional. Okay. Hi there. My name is Liana MacKenzie. I am the co-creator of Valor and the owner of Valor's Games. I'm subbing in for Zach tonight since he had some issues that are preventing him from being available. Should be back in next session, but in the interim, I am here to hopefully not screw up all of his carefully laid plans. And if I do, he will have to deal with that because that's just how it goes. So let's go ahead and get back into introductions now that we can actually hear people. Francesca, please.
Hello.
Take us away.
I am Francesca Calo. I am playing Callon now. I'm an actor and a voice actor. You can hear me in Gundam Seed Destiny as Stella Lucier, the video game Seven Nights 2 as Chang Chung. I'm missing a bunch of things right now. Directing stuff like Young Jian, which was out in theaters. Yeah, I'm excited to be back.
Awesome. You were doing what was that show? The Kingdom, was it?
Kingdom, yes, Kingdom season 3, which is on Crunchyroll right now. I was the ADR director on that, and I also played Qiang Lei in that anime.
Yeah, I saw that one. I was like, I need to watch this because this looks cool as hell.
It's super fun. Yeah, a lot of fighting. It's
that.
one of those like DBZ, but like in the ancient China world, sort of. There's more to it.
Right, absolutely. Paul.
All right, so hello, I'm Paul Greene-Dennis. My character is Faizon Black. And let me get out of here. And projects I'm in, I'm actually in Patron Saint of Suicides, which is an audio drama thriller podcast in which I played one of the lead roles of Detective Leonard Price. That's currently going on right now. It's actually about to head to the final stretch for the podcast. And I have some other projects that are NDAs, so can't reveal that just yet.
Hopefully you'll get an NDA by the time before the season's over, so you can talk about things. Very excited to hear about that. All right, Lily.
Hi, I'm Lily Emile Lammers. I'm surprise, a voice actor. You can hear me in games such as Fire Emblem Heroes, where I play Ash. You can get it for free if you complete book 6, chapter 1, I think. And I was recently in February on an episode of Quantum Leap. Woo! NDA hell.
Tamara.
We'll give Tamara just a moment here. I think he is having some technical issues here.
I will also say we are switched on the overlays, but now it's switched again.
Oh no!
Oh, everybody's switched.
I'm so sorry. My like USB hub keeps disconnecting for whatever reason. So I'm gonna just fix that.
This is what happens when Zach's not here.
Oh no! Now it's like, no, you don't have a camera. I'm so sorry. We want to see your beautiful face.
I'll have to let Zach know of the doom that was invoked because he wasn't able to make it today.
Tech was like, absolutely not.
Crying blood and such devastation and all of that.
Wasn't my intention, actually.
Glad someone got that joke. I'm way too much of a nerd to be making these jokes on my own with no one else catching up.
Okay.
Fantastic. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi. Hi, I'm Tamara. I'm a voice actor. Hi, I've been in games like Warframe, Wargroove. Nikkei is my biggest project. And you can hear me
in that, as well as a few other projects that are out soon. And yeah, I'm happy to be here.
I'm just hoping that you're going to get announced for Advanced War. I don't like know anything or anything like that. I'm hoping you're going to get announced for Advanced War, and you don't got to say anything.
I need another war game.
Right?
That's
Exactly.
all I'll say.
But all that aside, so when last we left off, you guys were kind of settling into the new life of helping your new boss get through the Florin freeway.
Yeah, we were
The
great at
muffler
that.
man.
God.
But
That was a time.
But after outwitting the muffler man, you do manage to get to the seat of power in the Florin provincial government. Congratulations! Very, 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 very great accomplishment. Where you find out that you will have to stand for a vote to be added to the staff roll by the provincial government. Technically, this is usually a formality, but as the traditionalists tend to rule the roost, and as they also tend to be assholes, there is some possible risk that they will not approve you, especially because you are working for equalists, who, in the eyes of the traditionalists, are horrible socialist scum who must be eradicated.
Well,
True.
Yeah, there's nothing really more to add. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's life.
But as you are entering the capital, you see kind of gathered along with a number of gentlemen in very expensive looking suits. Someone who I believe will be familiar to Faizon, if no one else. Man by the name of Lucius Kane Jr.,
Ooh.
who Faizon has a bit of shared history with, if my memory serves. And also possibly some blood relations, but whether or not that will be acknowledged is another thing entirely. And he like these other guys is, you know, just very rich tailored suits, probably like cost thousands of dollars. You know, dark hair, very piercing look, and definitely has that look about him that he doesn't necessarily see a human when he looks at you so much as he sees a worm, assuming he sees you at all. So would anyone like to approach him? He seems to be engaged in conversation as you guys are prepared to go to the floor of the house for your allegedly perfunctory acceptance vote. Or would you just like to let this man be?
I've already made a fool of myself, so I'm not doing anything.
So they are just standing outside of the city hall, essentially.
They're discussing general things. If anyone would like to try and listen into the conversation, you may certainly do so with a intuition roll or possibly a resolve roll. I will let you pick which one you'd prefer.
Callon's nosy. He'll kind of like listen in.
Yeah, I think Gemma's also interested in everything that is happening around us, because like this is our new reality, kind of. So
you said intuition or resolve, correct?
Intuition or resolve, whichever you prefer. If you would like to use something else, you will have to justify that to me.
18 for resolve. Oh, that was a difference. Hold on.
No,
Oh,
that's fine.
that's
It's
a
Okay.
defense.
Well,
I like the
19
big buttons.
Yeah. I was like, shiny, big button.
Button.
Yeah, your defense roll will be the same unless you accidentally entered penalties for yourself, in which case it will not be.
Don't think there's a penalty, but yeah.
But so Gemma,
With an 11.
you hear, like, you try really hard to listen in, but all you hear is like, imagine superimposing Ponzi rich people over the teacher from Peanuts. And that's like all you're getting out of this. Like, they're talking, they're saying words. None of these words are particularly important or memorable because
Blah,
they're just
blah.
awful.
Philanthropy.
And your
blah,
brain
blah,
rejects
blah.
the entirety of the language. The rest of you, however, can hear that they are in fact complaining about all of the new riffraff and how this is such a waste of time, and how this vote is going to just eat up important legislative duties and waste taxpayer money. One of them's getting kind of worked up about it, whereas the others are kind of giving him this like, but we like eating up taxpayer money. Like, you don't need to get that into it, you know, like it's good. It's good. Be cool. But yeah, so riffraff and waste of taxpayer money and something handouts, something undeserving, you know, typical stuff.
The huge.
And how far are we from them?
I would say at this point you're probably within 25 feet.
Okay.
You're close enough that they would notice that you are here if they deign to do so, which they
Right.
do not.
Okay. And we have to go into the city hall, correct?
Yeah, so you'll be
close.
entering the house when your term
Right.
is up. But you do, if you would like, have the opportunity to kind of look around and see who else is in the chamber, who isn't Faizon's half brother, with whom he has a.
Do they look familiar? Would we notice that?
Now you're gonna have to refresh my memory because, like, I'm trying to remember everything that went down, but it's been a bit, and I don't have Zach's like full breadth of knowledge of everything he did. Have you met Lucius Kane Jr.? Have you met Junior?
I don't think we
I
have.
don't think so.
I don't
no.
think we have, because last session Faizon said to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I know Senior, you guys had quite a bit of history with, so you can probably at least tell that there looks to be a relation.
Between Senior and Junior, but not between Faizon and Junior, or relation between all.
I would say, if you want to see if you can pick up that Faizon and Lucius Jr. look like they might have some relations, that's going to be another intuition roll.
Okay.
And
He's so
only
nosy.
intuition. I will not allow.
Oh, I did the big roll again. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'll allow intuition, or actually, I will allow aura too. And I will.
Well, if
I will.
aura
I'll
is
split
happening.
that out.
16 for me and 18 for Callon.
All right. So
Brent's not getting involved. She's tired. She's not nosy like the rest of you.
Gemma's like ready. She's like ready to pounce. She's like,
Kaylin's
who's a threat?
scrolling through his phone, trying to like.
I think Brent is like, guys, we need to enter the door. Please.
Like, I know I've seen the face. Is he like a famous social like person?
Cannot.
Callon, you do pick up on some similarities. Like, you can't really, because you're having trouble putting this into words per se.
Okay.
You know, you definitely picked up that this guy seems a lot like Lucius Senior. So like you've put that together, but also you're like he's kind of pinging you like Faizon does, but you don't really, I think, have the word or experience. Well, no, actually you do, because of where you're from. You're getting a cousin's vibe.
Okay, I'm just gonna like keep like doing the like back and forth thing, and like looking back at the phone, and then being like, but I'm not gonna say anything, and I'm gonna like suddenly like keep looking at Faizon and keep looking at Lucius, and just yeah.
Gemma, you notice something a bit different in your case. You feel a kind of, it's not that the souls are similar, but that the souls are bound. You sense that there is there is a weight upon the souls of Lucius and on Faizon, and that weight is linked in some way that you cannot at this point articulate or describe.
Okay.
Did anyone else roll on that? Just you
I
two.
did not.
Bryn
is like,
poor
we're
Bryn.
running late. We really need to get going. I don't know why we're all just standing here.
Well, and your number has not been called, so you do
Okay.
like the session hasn't started. You have
Let's get a move on.
Yeah, you have some time to look around the chamber because there are other lawmakers in here too. And it is kind of in your best interest to try and get them to vote yes on you.
Can I check if anyone's looking at us?
Absolutely, you may.
Mm-hmm. What do you want me to roll?
Why don't you justify to me what you would like to roll and why?
Wow. Wow. Well, let's see. Let me find the buttons first.
Not the big what the big ones
the
are.
small
No.
ones. Yeah.
No, just the small ones. Intuition. Because I think mind.
And just so I'm clear, so you're using your intuition to kind of suss out the room, look around, figure out what's going on.
Yes, and sort of see if anyone is like looking specifically at us.
Okay, I will accept that. Go ahead and roll intuition.
It's like when your anxiety tells you things. I got a 12.
And I am actually going to give you a +2 bonus for your methodology. And by methodology, I mean because Bryn is a ball of anxiety and she would be hyper alert for this.
Yeah. Okay, so 14.
So as you look around, you don't seem to feel like Lucius has especially taken any kind of interest in you. You're pretty sure he's at least noticed you and he's just pointedly ignoring you, which honestly tracks. Esther is in the room. They are kind of off to the side, dressed very, very nicely in a very smart business suit and looking nervous as all hell. Understandably so.
Anxiety to anxiety communication. My chair fell.
And interestingly, there is another person in here who does seem to be looking your way as well, albeit somewhat surreptitiously. This is a man named Nevin. He is a pretty large, like he's about 7 feet. He's an ogre. He's got a horn kind of jutting just over his right eye. Also very nice suit. His horn is not broken, so he's likely someone who has never really seen very intensive combat. Very well dressed, looks pretty rich, and he definitely seems to be interested in you.
I wave. Like on a...
He will wave back. He will not approach, but he will wave back.
That's a win. We got a vote, guys.
So as you are kind of waving, you notice Lucius kind of sigh heavily and approach Esther. The two converse for a bit, and after a bit, he and his posse, if you would call it that, kind of gesture to a room, and they dip into a meeting room, and Esther like gives you all a look and is like, so will you follow?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
gotta make Esther look good.
All right, so you kind of go into a meeting room, and Lucius and his group take up on one side. Esther sits down and kind of motions for the rest of you to also seat yourselves.
We see.
And
Yeah, I imagine we sit near Esther.
yeah,
Mhm.
they're kind of like here. Like, I need a show of force. Their desperate look is telling you. So as you seat yourself around, Lucius just kind of sits down and says, like, I'll get straight to the point. What in the world are you doing? Esther, clearly taken aback, kind of somewhat nervously starts muttering about how, you know, they find that the presence of this group who are, as they will remind, saviors of Callabri, will provide a fresh perspective to overall operations in the province. Lucius pretty much immediately counters that a bunch of newly licensed knights really should not be here, and that this is not a place for games. Knights such as yourselves will step on the toes of local law enforcement. They'll get in the way of provincial safety. They will impede proper law enforcement activities. This said in a tone that very, very heavily implies that by impede, he really means these are people who are going to commit some crimes. And even that like stops Esther up a bit short. Would anyone like to interject, or are you just gonna let this play out?
I think Bryn raises her hand. Just like, can I speak at the meeting?
Keep it down, Bryn. Just keep it down.
Well, I was going
Lucius will give you a look that both acknowledges you and attempts to turn you into a toad through the degree of contempt in which it holds.
Well, you say that you're worried because we're newly appointed knights. But wouldn't that be the reason not to worry? The activities that you're saying were all the things that you expected of knights and before. You can say that we're going to do different, which is why we've been appointed.
Lucius's glare does not obey, and his response is akin to a snarl. A bunch of young pups such as yourself have no reason to be here, especially coming from such a crime-infested rot hole like Callabri. The fact that you are here at all is simply due to the fact that apparently your voters believe that some nebulous concept of change and government handouts give them some kind of right instead of fixing that which that they have ruined for themselves. Were it
Maybe
not for
it's-
our provincial government's interference and generous donations to your city, that you would have burned yourselves down decades ago.
I feel as though it is in the government's best interest to listen to the people who elect them. But
I
perhaps
second
that is simply my unknown, you know, my peasantry that is influencing my political opinions, if you please.
I also don't understand. You keep criticizing the way the old things were done for decades, and then you also say you don't like the all the stuff you described was the stuff that the knights would do. So wouldn't that mean you're advocating for change yourself?
Lucius does not take that one. Like, his complexion is very dark to begin with, but it's now also kind of red. Very interesting, very menacing. Don't want this. He like kind of snarls at you and is like, Callabri has consistently flouted the provincial government and their intent to while away their hopes on liberal dreams and empty promises.
This is the future liberals.
The only reason that there is any sense of order is because the traditionalist party, through the goodness of our own heart and our duty to the entire province, not just some little enclave filled with criminals, has intervened with our police forces and our monetary contributions, and the old ways only fail because you refuse to embrace them. If you would step in line with the rest of the province, you would see that things would quickly clean up in your little town, and you wouldn't have so many issues as you do now. I'm sorry, Paul, what was that? Because I want to hear what you're saying in full.
You should practice what you preach.
And the look Lucius gives as he is forced to turn and acknowledge Faizon for the first time is withering. He looks at you like you are an insect that he is wishing so desperately he could just crush in his fingers, were it not for the fact that your guts would spill onto his suit, which would be the true tragedy of this event. He gives you just a moment of silence before he very coldly replies, I have always practiced what I preach. And in that practice, I have accomplished much for the province and for the people. You seem to have accomplished very little for either. And I would remind you of that fact before you open your mouth again.
Duly noted.
I believe with the time that we've been active, we have accomplished quite a bit. In fact, some would say more than the established forces that are intended to deal with these things. I agree with my colleague Faizon.
Yeah,
Lucius,
and also, sorry.
No, please go ahead. I want Callon to get in here so you could piss him off even more.
Get in here, boy.
He's like, I don't really know much about politics, but no. He's like, yeah, and also like, even if you implemented all that stuff that you said you did, and if things didn't change, then really whose fault is it if you didn't if it didn't work? Maybe your stuff isn't working that well, and that's why we're coming up and changing it, and that's why we need something new, which is us.
Preach, kiddo.
And at this point, like, Lucius's face is just done. And he's like, so now, and he turns to Esther, so now you would have me debate with children. And he sighs heavily. You shall have your vote, as is your due. But I ask that you not waste this body's time so much in the future, representative. With a lot of emphasis on that word.
You were the ones who called them in here. So you wasted your own.
Bryn earns a parting glare as Lucius just stalks out the door.
It's one of those where he's just like,
we're so good at diplomacy, guys.
I love all the different methods too. Not a united front.
Esther just kind of sighs and sinks into their chair a bit.
I give them a pat on the back.
Well, that went well. That went very well. They're not being sarcastic per se, but they definitely sound a bit defeated. It's very much this is everything I expected, and I'm still so anxious over all of this, and I want to crawl into a corner and die now.
Okay, Esther. I'd say it will be better, but we may have to force that change.
And from the door, you actually hear a booming guffaw as the ogre who'd been watching you just kind of strides on into the meeting room, shutting the door behind him.
I wave again.
I can't wait to meet him.
Which he also very pleasantly waves back. It's like, well, very well said. So these are your new pups, are they, Esther? To which Esther, responds and invites you all to introduce yourselves after first introducing this man. So this man, Nevin Raybell, is a unionist. And if you will, I will remind everyone of kind of the political situation here for first-time viewers and for players who haven't been able to play this for over a year alike. I don't expect you all to remember the nitty-gritty of these details so long after the fact. So the Unionists are the party who the Equalists typically caucus with. Equalists being a much more equality and progress-driven kind of sub-party of the Unionists is what they're generally considered to be. Usually you are aligned, but the Unionists tend to be a bit more focused on business and corporatist matters. A lot of their strength came in part from the labor unions back when they were still a thing. But they're generally considered to be reliable allies of the Equalists of varying degrees, just depending on which Unionists you speak to. Most Equalists were at one point Unionists before the break, and typically Equalists and Unionists don't tend to run for the same offices. There's kind of an operative agreement that depending on the circumstance, one or the other will run, just depending on who they think will win. So like you're aligned, but not always completely eye to eye. So Esther introduces him as another of the local provincial house, and invites you all to introduce yourselves if you so desire.
Bryn,
I'm
you seem to
Callon
be.
Lack.
Oh, hi, Caitlin. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and he'll give you a nice firm handshake.
I think Bryn opened her mouth.
He just shoves you out of the way.
as Bryn gets bowled over by like the 11-year-old. And he'll return with a very firm handshake. Like his hand is huge because this man's like a 7-foot tall ogre. But he'll very merrily shake your hand. It's like, nice to meet you, Callon. He'll give you a little hair ruffle as well.
Nice to meet you, Norman. Wait, is that your name? What's his name?
Nevin.
Nevin.
I'm Allez.
This is.
All right, so we have one real name introduction, one code name introduction. just so I can keep score here. Which he'll give you a nod and a very nice to meet you, Allez.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I am known as HeartShine.
SP.
And he will graciously greet you before kind of launching into his spiel. He's very friendly, but he's definitely like businessy. So there's that kind of veneer of like salesman, but not used car variety. Like he's friendly, he's amicable. It's mostly genuine, but within that genuineness, there's a certain exaggerated manufacture of his affect. So like it's not like he's lying per se. It's just like he's kind of playing up his sociability for his
Aren't
general
we
political
all?
social front. Yeah. The mask sweet way. So he kind of sits down and is like, I have been watching your group with quite a lot of interest, and frankly, I am so happy to see that you are here. Oh dear, my Zoom is telling me that I just got signed out and someone else tried to sign into my account. I think I'm good. Have I disappeared? Can you still see
No,
me?
No,
you're
you're
here.
good.
Impressed.
You're still
Fantastic.
here. You're still here.
Uh-oh.
Okay. That threw me off. All right. He kind of sits down and actually throws his feet up onto the meeting table and just kind of leans back comfortably in a chair. You can tell he's been in the provincial house for a while. I was like, I've been watching your activities for a while. It's been very interesting to see, and I'm very happy that Esther's found such a strong group to work with, and that you guys have made it out here. And you know, I would love to support your bid for operational authorization in the House. But you know, politics being what it is, it might take a bit of effort to get the caucus on board. So I thought I'd stop in and see what we can do for each other. You know, maybe make a deal.
I would say that depends on what the deal is.
It's like, well, having seen your performance earlier, I honestly think that this might be a very easy and attractive deal for you. I would love to see you embarrass Lucius Kane on the floor of the House. You can do that. My entire caucus will be behind you.
Do you know, SP, how do you feel about this?
Embarrassing Lucius. All right.
Well, I will at this point remind you that the traditionalists have a very strong hold on the provincial government, and also that the traditionalists, of whom Lucius Kane is one, may not take especially kindly to you embarrassing one of their own on the House floor, and you do need at least some of their votes for approval, even though this is technically a perfunctory vote, and they're supposed to vote yes on you. So I'm just going to remind you of that fact, but please carry on.
Mr. Norman, I have a question.
Nevin.
Nevin, my boy, Nevin. What is your question?
I'm sorry. When you say embarrass him on the House floor, what do you mean exactly? Like, are we talking like a prank thing, or like like a food fight thing, or like
The
social
particulars
media
are up to
thing?
you, although I don't really recommend something quite so bombastic.
We have
Frankly,
to
would
pull
be
the
fun,
finger
though.
thing.
frankly, Lucius Kane has been a thorn in the Unionist sides for many years. If you can at all diminish his status or make him look bad, that I think should be sufficient in securing the support of my caucus for your cause.
If it's justified enough, we may not even upset too many of the other traditionalists.
Well, you see, therein lies the problem, because he is rather popular. But, you know, I trust in your skill. You are, after all, the saviors of Calibri. So I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's-
embarrassing one politician is a simple task for you.
Does he have any weak points? Like on his body or something?
Yes, there's a big red eye on his back.
You just have to hit it 3 times.
Well, you just talk to him, kiddo. You tell me.
Yeah, he was a jerk.
Tell me about it. That is something we know quite well, in fact.
I bet it's his vanity. His vanity!
But we still have to consider the other votes as well, right?
Yes, and therein lies the issue.
So it might be better just to play it safe.
If we play it safe, then nothing will change.
Well, we have to get in there first.
That's true. That's true.
That is true.
And
Nevin kind of-
Esther,
Nevin
I-
kind
I-
of smiles at this conversation and says, well, I'll leave it up to you. Either way, you've impressed me, so you have my vote. And maybe the rest of my caucus will vote for you normally. Take the deal or not. It's up to you. But I look forward to seeing and hopefully working with you in the future. And then he will depart so that you can actually converse with Esther.
So Esther, what is your thinking on this?
Esther is trying to come down from the kind of panic state that they've been, like the high anxiety state that all of these proceedings have left them in. So they're like, give me a minute.
Our representative.
So as they like kind of try and calm themselves down a bit and figure this out. Did anyone want to try and get a read on Nevin, by the way, as he's leaving? Or just in general from your
I want to
interactions?
get vibes. Can I get vibes? from
Yeah,
him,
you can make a
please?
vibe check.
Vibe check.
Yeah, vibe check.
It's just vibing.
And,
Is it okay if I use aura again? Because I am
so you
checking
want
my
to kind of sense him spiritually for this
Yeah.
for this vibe check? Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
13.
All right. He doesn't really seem to harbor genuine ill will towards Lucius. And while he is supportive, he doesn't seem like you definitely get that he is supportive outwardly of you, but something about it doesn't seem 100% genuine.
And it could just be politics in all of its mess. Because he has his own battles to fight that may not be 100% in line with what Esther's here to do. So
But Esther has managed to calm themselves down a bit, and they're like, well, honestly, I'm going to have to trust your judgment. I think there is wisdom in not rocking the boat, but also I didn't run for this office because I just wanted to rubber stamp and continue on as normal. I did run to try and make change. Obviously, it would be much harder without all of you at my back, and that is incredibly concerning to me. Going up a few octaves of panic as those words leave their lips. But ultimately, I will fight for you, and I trust you, and I trust you to make good decisions.
I'm just thinking, okay, what if, I'm just throwing ideas out, what if we start something or we embarrass him and you rein us in?
Esther thinks about that for a second. Like, I can work with that, but I do have some concerns that if I am required to rein you in, that would show that I don't have full confidence in you either.
True. I was going for more like you do have control over us and you can utilize us as your tools.
They're definitely like, you can tell they're uncomfortable with that line of thinking, but they do nod, saying that if that's the way you want to go, they're happy to play that part.
I'm just worried we might embarrass you further.
Yes.
And this, Alyssa, is just a very ragged sigh. Don't worry, there's truly no danger of damaging my reputation any more than it already is, just for the fact that I am here.
I think if we did the food fight, that might have done it.
Yeah, I think the food fight is out. Sorry, Kaylin.
Okay.
We'll
Maybe next
consider the
time.
whoopee cushion.
I'm just saying that would be really funny, and no one would know. How would they know?
Right?
He could have just farted.
Yeah. Okay, I'll put the whoopee cushion under his seat so that when he like does his speech or whatever, he'll sit down, everyone will go quiet, and it'll be embarrassed.
I
Really
might
quick.
be okay with this.
I kind of think that's funny, but SP, I don't know if you have any thoughts on this. I don't want to overstep. I know. Yeah, there's something, right?
No. However, that guy doesn't like to get dirty physically.
Food fight back on.
Bryn cannot let this go.
Because it's so funny.
Just picturing like going into a congress and just going food fight, and then...
What if you could rig something so that he spilled on himself?
That might be fun.
Well, so how does this work exactly? Like, they're going to give their arguments, and then like we have to give ours as to why we would be good and why they should vote yes for us.
Esther kind of gets into a bit of explanation mode. So functionally, this is a provincial house vote. So all of the general cities and areas around Florin send representatives to vote on bills and legislation, things like that. The traditionalists are very strong. They've governed Florin for at least a decade now, and they hold a very heavy majority. So in these votes, generally you need at least some of their approval to do everything or do anything really. And they all tend to vote together. And they also don't tend to really like being embarrassed. So I don't know that it would go too well. You can just see the anxiety spiking.
Would they like the angle of just trying to get it over with?
I mean, some of them might. It's if you could sell it as just a routine thing.
We would hate
that
to
we're trying
waste
do.
taxpayer money.
They do seem to hate that.
But not too much.
Yeah.
Well, the more you use, the less that they can use on their own salaries. So you know how it goes.
I feel like just getting it over with and taking a neutral approach might be good for now. I don't know. I just can't shake the feeling that Nevin, Norman, is setting us up to embarrass ourselves.
Would you,
Could be true.
Bryn, like to make some kind of a vibe check?
Sure.
It's vibing.
It's an anxiety check again. Should I do?
If it's an anxiety check, I will permit resolve if you would like.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Intuition. Yes, I will permit
Okay.
resolve.
Either intuition or resolve. I was like, do I have to do aura for a vibe check?
No, I was doing aura.
Yeah.
Okay,
Gemma's very
15.
specifically using magic to try and.
Yeah, I was sussing out to see if there's any sort of like.
Mhm. I'm not good at that, so that's why I didn't want to do that. But I got a 15.
So you actually, and this may be in part because of your familial history of being part of a long and proud, rich traditionalist family. Have they disowned you? Is that what happened?
I think I broke off contact.
Okay, so you went no contact. Okay.
Yeah.
So you seem to remember some things a bit more clearly about Nevin. Nevin is much more a business person than a politician, and most of his political support is kind of funded by the business world. He does. This is not direct, but you seem to recall that he does have some economic backing from a now defunct company known as Red Sun. Both during his time as a businessman and in the current day. He doesn't necessarily seem, from what you know, to be motivated by economic or political success, but you're having trouble pinning down what exactly that might be. That truly drives him.
It's bad vibes.
Well, then perhaps we should play it safe.
Let's just tag along and see what his real motives are for now.
We can try to slightly embarrass him if it comes up, but we don't have to go out of our way, I think. We will, adapt.
Yes. Otherwise, we can be perfect little followers.
All right. Well, it's almost time for the meeting, so I guess we should do this. Esther's putting on their game face, but they are.
Esther, you can do this.
I know I can do this, so I just don't want to.
Which is why we're gonna get it done.
Yes.
Just make sure you're back down to calibrate before you enter into this meeting.
Right. Okay, let's get this over. And they put on a very strong game face. You'll note too, just being in the room, that while they are in business attire, they are sporting some very tasteful additions of their traditional garb. So they are making a statement standing here as a member of the sovereign nations, even in the face of the dire colonialism that's been inflicted in this province. So as you all kind of filter in, you are directed to take the stand on the podium so that lawmakers may question you.
I'm imagining us all on the same podium. Callon is too short to reach.
So there's a small table that you all kind of sit, and then you'll step up to the podium in turn to address the congregation. But the provincial house is pretty full. Lots of lawmakers. The traditionalist wing is sitting kind of stony-faced and judgmentally. They're very good at judgmental. That's one of their it's one of their key features.
I'm sure that's one of the platforms they run on. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. The unionists are for the most part kind of business appropriate and serious, and just here to get things done. And the equalists will actually applaud for you coming in, which a very small section, but growing since the last election. And they like you, so that's good. Some votes you don't have to work for. So as you kind of take up your place, the speaker, who is in extreme, this elf looks particularly fossilized. like could possibly be actually mummified, and it would be hard to tell. Clearly has been here for a while. Clearly hasn't had to work very hard for their election for decades.
God.
So they kind of get up and give a bit of a mumbling, perfunctory address about the the long and storied history of the Florin provincial government, and gathered here today to serve the business of the people. Lots of very pretty words that traditionalists tend to kind of ignore beyond actually saying them, and then moving directly on to other more pickpockety endeavors. But eventually, after all of that rambling, he does get to introducing you as a group of newly minted knights. And definitely, it seems someone inserted that phrase in there because you don't that's not something you need to say.
Yeah.
You don't need to say that you're new knights, but he did, so that's where we're at. The equalist representative Esther has tapped for law enforcement advisement and support, and then generally kind of outlines the rules of how long you have to speak, and how long people can question you, and all that other stuff, like the 5-ish minute rule. You can concede your time, all of these other perfunctory measures, which we will more or less ignore unless I feel like it will make the scene more entertaining or dramatic.
Fair.
Funny rule.
So with that, then you're invited to make an opening statement. Who would like to do that?
We should have prepared this.
If nobody else wants to go, I guess Gemma will step up.
What would you like to say, Gemma?
Before I start speaking, can I do a general, kind of sweep over the crowd? Not necessarily with magic. Maybe just a regular resolve kind of check.
Wait, with magic or without?
Not with magic, no.
Okay.
Just like a general.
So I was going to tell you, as soon as you enter the chamber, you notice that you are in a magic dampening zone.
Yeah, I kind of figured that would be something in play. Just because, there's magic in this world. Yeah.
There's magic, and typically it's a bad idea to allow your politicians to get murdered by magic.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I just want to do a general
non-magical
vibe. Resolve. Oh, I got a 5. So I guess that's not good because it's red. Because I won.
Wow, that's a lot of people. Wow, I don't think
You gotta picture them in their underwear.
Oh God, what's going on? And then your brain just kind of spirals into red alert.
Hi. Hello. Thank you for hosting us today. My alias is HeartShine, and we are thrilled to be here. If you have any concerns, we would be thrilled to allay them.
That's my name.
And is that all short, sweet, to the point?
I feel like Gemma is clearly very overwhelmed. Usually she's a little bit better, well-spoken than this, in front of a mic especially, but I feel like just something about it is just horribly familiar to stuff that she had to do when she was much younger. And it's just pulling out this very old insecurity that, she's going to mess up or say something wrong. And it's really firing on right now.
Okay, so it is at this point that I will tell you that we have a meter in play.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I figured we have a meter. Yay.
So the
This
meter
is
begins
going
at 1.
great.
And your
Okay.
goal is in generally within 3 rounds of questioning and defense to get it as high as possible.
Okay.
So this, for your opening remark, I will permit you to make a roll. I will say when you did the Allez, and then Allez was like, "That's my name." You did hear a guffaw from the equal side, so someone thought that was funny.
I did
I'll give
It
too.
was like a centimeter.
So I'll give you +2 to that. However, I will give you a -1 commensurately because HeartShine is not taking this well.
No.
So for a total of +1 to your roll, please roll resolve.
Resolve. All right. I rolled a 9 this time.
The meter does not move.
HeartShine takes a step back and seats, and there is sweat just coming down her back. She is not having a fun time all of a sudden.
This is a challenge scene, right?
Yes, this is a challenge scene. So
Can
you will
I
be-
can I use favorable insight?
Yes, you may.
Yay.
Nice.
I knew I was smart for picking that up.
Zach, who provided me with a tome of notes, actually gave me specific instructions on what happens if you use your favorable insight.
Yay.
Oh.
Okay, I will roll intuition. 18.
That is a very good roll. So here's kind of what you're getting. Because the traditionalists look to be firmly in control of the chamber, probably your best route will be to appeal to them. You definitely have the support of the equalists. It's hard to say with the unionists, but probably at least some of them will back you. Nevin, for whatever it's worth, said he will. It seems like the traditionalists will most likely look favorably upon respecting their traditions, beliefs, or goals, which are, as you can probably infer, smaller government, tax cuts, budget cuts, self-sufficiency, general traditional religion and social order, and then did I say small government?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Smaller.
government.
But
Unless
smaller,
they're
even
unless
more.
they're oppressing minorities, of course.
Of course.
Then that's
Bryn,
not
you're
gonna
from
be
a
as big
you're
as
from
they
a
want.
traditionalist family. You know the right things to say.
Yes.
You can at least make it like more present
Anyone
our
who's
things.
had to go back and watch Weasel News with their family will, certainly
Yeah.
know the general.
It's
the general-
just like when you go home for a holiday dinner.
absolutely. You're picking up what I'm saying.
After the guffaw, I feel like there's like a little bit of silence, which is when I'm looking in. And can I speak after that?
I will have the questions posed
Okay.
to you, and then we'll move in order.
Okay.
Additionally, I will give you this because you did roll quite well. If you manage to convince the traditionalists that you are obedient or easily manipulated, that will also prove in your favor.
Oh my god.
Talking about kind of general accomplishments within Calibri will probably be more of a neutral thing unless you play up traditionalist influence as beneficial in that situation, which will boost it positive. And it seems like obviously challenging the beliefs of traditionalists or making a mockery of the body. So like
Food fight.
food fighting, for example, would impact you negatively.
Okay.
So with that in
Oh,
mind,
food fight.
one of the unionists actually steps up to question you first, and this question will go to Callon.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
And he seems pretty nice. And is like, come forward, son. You know, you're awful young to be in this kind of business. I wanna hear what being here in the great provincial house of Florin really means to you.
Like, say you're good with child labor.
This is a unionist. This is a unionist
Oh,
who's
okay,
asking.
never mind.
Yeah.
Say you're good at child labor if they join the union.
If they join the
Well,
Just
okay,
looking
this
for
is a
my
unionist
union
question.
rights.
However, all of the traditionalists can hear it too.
No, that was not out loud. I'm just kidding.
I know. That was not a character.
Okay. Well, Callan steps up and he goes, well, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to talk about whether or not the knights, like myself, would benefit as a community and everyone else. And just speaking as a knight, when I was younger, I always dreamed of helping people and being someone that someone could rely on. And like all of you lovely people sitting up there, this is not practiced at all. Lovely people sitting up there, I just want to help the people who are down here. And working together to form a great community of people that are strong and that can have that can live their lives with
As Callon stutters, the moderator calls time on that response.
Okay, does that mean my time's up? Like,
Yes,
well,
your
thank
time is
you.
up. Please return to your seat.
Okay, thank you for coming to my presentation.
Please return to your seat.
Okay, thank you.
You did a great job.
But you do hear in one of the older traditionalist ladies go, "Oh, what a nice boy." So I'm gonna overall give you a +1 on a resolve roll. I think is probably where this is going.
I moved over to math skills. Okay, resolve. Here we go. So 13 with that +1.
You do not move the meter.
Oh.
I tried.
One of the traditionalists steps up and turns to Faizon.
Ooh.
Mr. SP, was it?
Yes.
In general, your searching for the right word, your community has caused a lot of problems in the city of Callabri. How is it that you, now choosing to work for the government, intend to fix all of the rampant issues that have happened in your city? And how is it that you specifically will be able to address this?
What do you define by problems?
Oh, we could name a number of them. Rampant crime, drug use, all kinds of things, really. The reports coming out of Callabri are honestly quite shocking. And I would like to know how you and your team are going to address them, since you are, as they say, to be serving as law enforcement advisors. Side note, which all of you will know, Callabri does not really have a crime issue.
Where did you get this report from?
The The traditionalist actually like kind of seems stunned that you're challenging him on this. He's not used to that. He's like, well, I mean, you see it on the news every day, right? Shootings here and there, and like all of the needles on the beaches and stuff like that. It's just absolutely awful. Like, turn on the channel any day of the week and you can see these reports.
I have been in Callabri quite a bit, and I haven't seen these things.
So you're telling me these problems, you're not aware of these problems, is that right?
Well, I'm aware, it's just I haven't seen them. I haven't seen needles or crime like that you're describing. I am in Callabri.
I see. Very well then. That's going to be a -2. Not necessarily because you were wrong, but because they didn't like that answer. I'm going to say resolve for you unless you would like to try and justify a different stat.
Could I use aura since I'm using spirit, or unless spirit is in line with the magic?
I will allow you to, even in a dampened magic zone, I will allow you to use your aura instead, to kind of try and project presence, which you can still do, even though the overt effects of magic will not work.
See.
Even with the penalty, however, that is just barely enough. And you do give a strong enough answer to push some of the uniness on your side. So the meter has risen to 2.
Oh, the 16.
So with that, now someone is going to stand up and address our friend HeartShine. This is an older traditionalist lady who is actually like seems happy to see you. And it's like, HeartShine, right? HeartShine. Like my daughter was actually quite a fan of your group back in the day.
Thank you very much.
I wasn't aware that you were still active. Is your entire group still active, or is it just you?
Currently, I am working with this fine group here. We are still in contact, the ones who are still around. And we are all.
Oh yes, I had heard about that horrible accident. I'm so sorry, my dear.
Thank you.
But I'm very impressed to see that you're continuing on and doing really good work. Why did you choose this particular group to work with?
I found that in my years working with my previous group, finding people who are different enough from you can sometimes push you to become better, can challenge some of the ideas that you hold without really moving forward, let's say. And I found that this group is very varied in where we come from, our experiences, but we can all make each other stronger, and we work together very well. And I believe that working together with our esteemed representative, that we can all come together from all different parts, the same as you all do every day here.
Pick a +3 on that. Resolve, I'm thinking.
Yeah, let's do a resolve. Hopefully, I guess. Please. 6. Oh, I'm not good at resolve.
I'll
with
let
the
you
+3,
sub.
9.
I can let you sub something else if you would prefer to justify something better.
I would say intuition, maybe. Just like using what I know to try and say the right things without compromising what I truly believe.
If you want to do intuition, Yeah, go ahead and do intuition. I'll even let you re-roll that.
Okay.
Because I don't want to define the stat that you use. So
9, so +3 would be
bit better.
12.
I'm gonna call that neutral. You will not decline the meter, but you will not advance it either, unfortunately. Allez, another traditionalist for you. He comes up. This is another very old gentleman who he's like wiping down his glasses and like, you're the Briars girl, aren't you? What brings you out to here, out this way? I didn't know they had a daughter in the knighthood. You may also make a roll to see if you know this person, by the way.
Sure.
That will be an intuition roll.
Yeah.
And by know, I mean recognize, because he clearly recognizes you.
11.
You don't remember who this is.
I would, I think we should really focus on the matter at hand. I would really hate to waste any more of your guys' time. You have so much important work to be doing, right? So we should really focus on that.
+1. Go ahead and roll +1. Intuition, is that where you're going with this?
Yeah. 20.
Meter has advanced to 4.
You do not talk about my family.
and an excellent deflection, by the way.
Yeah, really good.
Okay, so that was the end of the first round. You have 3 rounds. I will give you Valor for this, but you will not be in overdrive range.
Did he just leave?
Well, I mean, he asked this question, so he gets up, he asks, and then he goes sit back down.
Okay.
Yeah, he just kind of like, oh, well, yeah, okay. And he gets to sit down. So he didn't really press you.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, so +1 Valor to everybody. You will not be in overdrive range unless you do something particularly speechy to make me give you more Valor. But do keep in mind that you can earn Valor for this, as this is a challenge scene. And we will head into round 2 with Callon. You are up again in the hot seat. As a younger equalist steps up to the plate. And he's like, I really want to hear Callon talk about why he decided to join. It's not often for our generation, which technically this is true. Like, you are technically like older and younger would be considered part of the same generation. For our generation to be engaged in politics so early, and honestly, I'm very excited to see it. So. How did you get tangled up in all of this? What drew you to this party and to this group?
Well, it all began with my mom. No, I don't know. I was my grandfather was like one of those heroes that you just like talk about, and I think like coming here and seeing the like issues that a lot of the people had, it was kind of like, well, okay, so injustice is something that I personally kind of take personal, and like being with these people, we were kind of like thrown together really, but everyone here has the same kind of ideas that injustice should not be tolerated, and that people deserve to have a fighting chance no matter where they come from, and people have to work together in order to accomplish all of that. And that's why I really like working with all these people, because they have good hearts, and we've done some really great things together as a group. And I want to continue doing that because the world kind of needs it right now, especially Calvary with everything that's going on. And I think that we can make a difference. So That's why I kind of stuck with them, and I enjoy being with them, and we look out for each other just as much as we look out for the people. So yeah.
Go ahead, and I'm going to give you a +4 on that one.
Yay!
Is that a resolve, would you say?
Yeah, I think resolve for him.
Yeah, go ahead and roll
Definitely.
resolve.
Okay. 13 plus 4, 17.
17. That will advance the meter to 5.
Woo!
Faizon, a unionist is going to step up and say, addressing SP, I've heard from general reports that you are very skilled and experienced. What in your professional eye do you think we could really benefit from in terms of the service of you and your group? You're muted, Paul.
Protection for those who need protection, who are defenseless. For those who are being abused by others who mean harm to the defenseless. And
Go ahead and finish your statement.
And just making sure that no harm comes to the way of those who can't defend themselves. Making sure that they are safe.
Is that all for your statement, or were you gonna say something else? I just want to make sure I don't cut you off.
That's all.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you, let's see here. That goes over pretty well with the Unionists, goes over pretty well with the Equalists. It goes over pretty well for the Traditionalists who don't actually know what you're saying, but it doesn't go over well with the Traditionalists who do understand what you're saying. So I'm gonna say overall about a +2. And we Aura, probably. That seems to be where. Yeah, okay. Go ahead and roll Aura then. I'm projecting that mystic confidence that Faizon's got. 17. Meter increases to 6. So you're at least in like a moderately positive spot now. HeartShine.
Yes.
A older traditionalist gentleman steps up
Great.
and says, now, HeartShine, you've been active in all of this for many years yourself. Wouldn't you say you're a bit too old for this line of work now? Shouldn't you have, settled down, gotten married, had some kids, all of that? Like, why do you think this is still an appropriate line of work for you? And this guy's like 80, by the way.
Yeah, I figured. Well, I have experience that I think still lends itself to this line of work, as you say. I have something to offer. And regardless of my personal life, which I will note is not shared very openly, regardless of that, I think it's important that someone like me with the experience, as you say, is around to guide the younger generations, as many people here are guiding the next generation of representatives.
There's some muted oohs from the Equalist side. Overall, though, I'm going to give you a +3.
Okay.
That's a very strong answer. What stat are you looking at? Intuition?
Intuition. All right, rolling. 12, so +3, 15.
15. increases to 7. Which means we come once again to Allez, to Bryn.
Woo.
This is a younger traditionalist. And make an intuition roll.
Okay. That's always scary. Load. Ah.
Gotta fight the character sheet first.
Yeah, gotta fight the internet. 15.
15. Your mom's tried to set you up with this guy before.
Oh!
His name is Eustace. He's been by the house a few times. And yes, his name is Eustace, and he's as old as you are. Because it just do be like that.
I mean, her name's Brett.
he steps up, and you can see on his face that he's got some goss on you. And also, he didn't much care for the way you dodged him. Ms. Briar, I happen to have on good authority that you are no longer in contact with your illustrious family. And as a member of the Briars and a strong traditionalist household, to have thrown your lot in with equalists of all people, I would frankly like to know what compelled you to throw away your family's largesse and to turn your back on all of the great work that they've done for this province and all of the years that they have supported our political establishment and our aims. How could you?
I think you got to it exactly, though. My family's worked really hard, and they've always said that hard work is the most important thing in life. When I was staying with them, I wasn't working at all. I wasn't thinking about the politics about our nation. Once I stepped aside, I was able to work by myself and, pull myself up by my bootstraps, not take any handouts from my parents anymore. And I'm really starting to learn a lot more about this. And I really don't want to be that person who is just taking everything from their parents. So I think I'm actually living up to their ideals as, doing my own thing.
Take a +5.
Let me roll this.
That was so good.
24.
And with that, the meter is maxed. All right.
Also, I'm gay. She doesn't say that.
I would support you if you were.
He seems kind of
You did say that.
disappointed by how well your you get a bit of applause, and not just from equalists, from some traditionalists as well.
Mhm.
Although you also hear a lot of muttering about liberal college ruins, everyone. Steps away from the podium, though. And Lucius steps up. And he looks directly at Faizon. And he says, you don't belong here, right? He's staring directly at you.
I wouldn't be standing up here if I didn't.
I was on a break.
Oh. Sorry about that. did not mean to lose that. We are about to take a break, but we're not quite there yet. He kind of looks at Faizon and steps away and is like, very well, let's get this farce over with. And the voting begins. And you, by overwhelming majority, are voted in. So this shows a profound degree of faith in your performance, and this will help you in your future endeavors throughout the season, as you have a large support of the provincial government. Congratulations.
Yeah! Bryn
Yay.
absolutely demolishing them.
Try not
Also
to
said
lick
in chat,
boots
the
too much.
Uno reverse. Really coming in clutch here. Okay, now we will take a quick break. So we will be back 15-ish minutes. So sit tight. I hope you're all enjoying it, and we will be back with more of Valor Live Wind Riders episode 14. See you soon. With that, then after that, you reconvene in Esther's office as they just like violently exhale.
I give them a pat again.
Like there's stress, and you can tell they're also frustrated by just like having to go through that whole rigmarole to begin with. But you know, they take a seat, they slump into their desk in their office. They're like, good job though. That went about as well as I could expect it to have.
Yay!
Just glad that's over now.
They nod emphatically at that. It's like
They did ask a lot of weird questions.
That's, they were looking for our weak spot, so.
Well, it's par for the course.
I was about to deck Lucius, I'll tell you that. Faizon, that was completely inappropriate.
Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry we didn't put the whoopee cushion.
somewhere down the hall, Lucius sneezes.
That would have been really satisfying after he sits down and
Maybe next time.
But Esther is just like massaging their temples, like trying to make it through. It's like, well, now that that's over with, we can actually get to work. But again, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and you shouldn't have had to go through that, but I really appreciate how well you did.
Me too.
You did a really great job.
Callon, you were fantastic.
I don't think I want to be a politician when I grow up.
That's probably for the best. I don't think that would be a great path for you.
Mm-mm.
That would be a wise choice.
I'll just stick to 19.
And Esther kind of smiles wanly at the whole discussion. Well, now that you're in, we can certainly get to doing the actual important parts of our job. As to what's next, well, I've a bit of a proposal if you're interested. I'd like you to step up as investigators and consultants in closing up the Eden Poly situation, if you are interested in that. I know you guys had quite a hand in all of the going-ons. It's like another stress headache. Inducing another stress headache, even bringing it up.
Don't think too much about it. We'll do it, right?
I mean,
But,
we
I mean,
already
as
have
you may
our fingers
recall-
in all of the pies, so might as well just get our hands completely dirty.
But
My
as
metaphor
you-
kind of
as
got
you
away from me.
recall, Arcosa never seemed, so far as we could prove, to be acting out of ill will. So they did manage to get out in much better shape than Red Sun did. But I'm concerned about their future and what they're going to be doing, and whether or not what they're doing is going to be dangerous. But if there are no objections, my hope is that, and then as they are speaking, the door just kind of bangs open and Nevin just sweeps into the room. Well done, well done. That was quite the performance. You sure know how to pick them, Esther. And you can see Esther's like fishing around for aspirin. Where did I put my etc.? But Nevin, whether or not he actually notices, is all cheer and high spirits. As he kind of sweeps through the rooms, effuse praise of everyone's performance. You know, you did wonderfully. It was enormously entertaining. You really went over the Unionist caucus with your words. Was hoping to see a bit more of a bloodbath with Lucius, but you know, that was still very impressive nonetheless. And then, like, without asking permission, he just starts poking around at a lot of like the sovereign artifacts that Esther has decorated their room with. For like picking up like a dinosaur model. It's like, yes, the noble Albertosaurus. Did you know that there used to be 10 times as many dinosaurs roaming the earth as there are today? It's true. Apparently, most of them were wiped out, but the specimens you see now are those who were tough enough to survive both the Draconic Revolution and the major comet that took out most of their kindred. It's really quite an amazing thing. And as he's talking, you all notice a weird glint in the model's mouth.
Can I do a check of some sort?
Absolutely.
Can I also?
Yeah.
Can I do an aura check if it's?
Yeah, I'm checking aura.
I'm doing intuition.
I got a 20.
14.
There's. Is that a speaker? That looks like it might be a speaker. But he's prattling on about this dinosaur, by the way. So.
Why would there be a speaker?
But
I don't know.
HeartShine, you seem to be the only one who seems to be able to properly identify this. But yeah, it looks like it might be a bug.
Great. I love that.
Yay.
But yeah,
Does it
right
look
now
like
this
he was
idiot's
already
talking
there?
about dinosaurs, and he's just kind of waving this thing around.
Does it look like it was already there? Like he didn't put it there just
He
now,
didn't put
did
it there. It looks like it was there to begin with.
Okay. All right. In that case, I think HeartShine is just going to take notice of it and make like a mental note. We gotta scan for bugs, cause oh boy, that's not good.
So are you not going to draw attention to it now, or
Not with him here.
Did
Not
he
risking
touch the model? Or
he just like picked it up and he started waxing on about dinosaurs?
oh, okay.
Me too.
Anyway, after that, he sets it down. He's like, well, anyway, I have work to do. So congrats, welcome, and looking forward to working with you. And he's just gonna jet.
Thank you.
Thanks. As soon as he's out the door, HeartShine is going to make a beeline to that model and take a look at what is inside, if it is indeed a bug.
Do you like Alberta's sword too?
Yeah, that's a bug, all right. And Esther notices that it as well.
HeartShine like gestures, like shh, shh, shh.
Esther also raises their hand, runs over to their desk, grabs a device out, and kind of holds it up there and punches it. And there's a quick flash in the room, and all of the lights and the internet just go out.
I guess it just like turns off like every electric thing.
I think Bryn screams.
And,
That's scary.
And she's like, calm down. It's just an EMP. You can thank Arcos for that. Apparently, this was a gift for winning my seat. It's only temporary. So I need you to check the office right now.
Yeah, I'm crushing this thing before we get any further.
No, Esther's already on that.
Okay.
They grab the bug out, but they're saying the rest of you please check the office now.
Okay, when I use aura or like some type of danger sense or something?
Yeah, aura I will allow.
I will use intuition.
Yeah, aura is just magical sensing, so you use your magic to try and sense.
Yeah. I'll let you guys try and take a pass at it.
I got 16 and Paul got 19.
Neither of you both search pretty thoroughly, but neither of you managed to really find anything so far as you can tell. It looks like by the time the power is back on, you're about as confident as you can be that this was the only one.
Well, I guess it's a good thing that this was the only one that was here. Did Esther bring this artifact, or was this here in the office?
Esther, who is currently like rage screaming over like muted rage screaming over all of the BS they've had to deal with, is like, no, this is mine. So something probably got put in.
Was anyone
Okay.
else here recently other than Nigel?
And at this moment, Nevin bursts back in, is all, Representative Esther, are you all right? I saw the power go out all of a sudden. And and like,
We were
Esther almost
testing our
like a-
escape room
who's
approaches.
still holding the EMP, just like looks at him, is like, and he actually looks at it. He seems to get a bit serious for a minute. And as he sees like the EMP in their hand, and shuts the door behind him, and is different now, is more serious. And he kind of just like leans up against the wall and is like, all right, so what happened?
I'm gonna just like look at Esther, I think, to kind of gauge like.
Esther's gonna think for a minute and sigh and say, and then hold up the crushed bug and said, we found this in that dinosaur you were playing with, and then just toss it on the table. Which he will look it over and kind of turn it over in his hands. Well.
Yes,
How
it's
many
a
enemies have
very
you already made?
it's a very interesting artifact within an artifact.
Yes.
And to be clear, like this is just like a dinosaur sculpture.
Yeah,
It's like a
yeah,
model.
yeah.
Uh,
It was a cool dinosaur.
It still is. How dare they use this cute dinosaur for evil?
do you think of anyone who might have put this in here?
A few people. I mean,
So you made quite
Esther.
a few enemies then.
Mm, People are scared of what Esther represents to the future of politics here in Florin, you know?
So with that in mind, then who do you think did this one?
I don't know if we should be just listing people we dislike after we just
Yeah.
learned that there was a bug in the room.
It was Lucius!
Okay.
Now you're talking, kiddo. I happen to know that Lucius does seem to have been keeping tabs on your little group here. So that's where my mind certainly went when I saw
Have
this.
you been keeping tabs on him?
Of course, he is one of the highly respected members of a rival party who controls most of the power in Florin. It's good to keep abreast of the situation, and you know, we unionists are always happy to share information with our little brothers and sisters in the Equalists. That's where my mind certainly goes, and you know, probably best to do something about that. That's what I would do if I were you.
You seem to really not like Mr. Lucius.
I mean, after you've seen as many of your bills killed by that man as I have, it's hard to be impersonal about it. And I'm just gonna say right now, even without rolling, you know that he is completely
Yeah.
honest about that. Like,
I think that's general political knowledge.
Yeah.
oh, absolutely.
I mean, fair. He was a poopy head.
I agree. I'm going to second that, Caitlin.
Mhm.
It seems to
There's
me
no
though he's given you guys a pretty good idea of a good way to retaliate, as he just kind of slides the bug across the desk.
Why do you want us to get in trouble?
Please
'Cause
don't
you're-
please
Your
don't.
advice the last time did the same thing too. And now you're suggesting we do it again.
Do not misunderstand. I
I'm
want to
not
get back at
misunderstanding. I'm
Lucius.
thinking about the exact effects of your actions.
I love
You see, something I don't think you quite realize is like this is a game that's been going on for a long time.
Why do you want us to play it? Why aren't you doing it?
That's what politicians
Why are you saying
do.
I'm not doing anything? I think what you need to understand here is whether you want it or not, you're part of this now. You're now pieces on the board.
And why did you give us advice that would make us lose everyone?
Well, we could have been more proactive and, you know, stepping up how we speak to Lucius. I think
Lucius doesn't speak for his whole party. Like, I understand that as well. He's made plenty of enemies on his own side.
right.
I know how to rally my caucus, and I can offer you that, and that's what I offered you.
Right. I think that we are unestablished here. And what you offered was very good. It was a great deal. I'm sorry that we couldn't do more in the small time that we were given. But, you know, I do believe that he will be an obstacle for us. And I do logically know that we are involved deeply, and we represent our representative. So obviously people are going to come after us. In addition to Esther, obviously. We are simply more disposable than Esther, and the people have chosen them to represent them. They haven't chosen us, and I think that makes us great targets.
And he just kind of smiles and is like, that it does. It's been a while since we've had additional knights join the general representative staff in this office. So that is the big question, though, is what are you guys going to do about it? The unionists, of course, will offer support, as we always have, to the Equalists, but our caucus, although we caucus together, we are not in the same party, and this was a shot at you. So how are you going to respond? I can't tell you that. I can certainly give some suggestions to what I would do, though.
I was going to say, you seem very happy to tell us how to do it.
Oh, absolutely. But I can't make you do it. Unfortunately, you're not part of my caucus, or I could tell you what to do, and that would make this much easier. But I am happy to offer my wisdom and suggestions as a member of the Unionist Caucus who's been having all sorts of fun clandestine battles with Lucius since coming to this place so many, many years ago.
So why don't you take the bug and put it yourself?
My office wasn't attacked.
Exactly. Then no one would suspect you.
But it would look like I am instigating something. I wouldn't have any kind of defense. If I were caught, I wouldn't have any defense of retaliation. If you were caught, Lucius, having been caught himself, would probably just have to walk away from the whole matter. Tit for tat and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of chuckles to himself. After our last escapade, I'm not in a position to engage on Lucius until he's done something to me first. And I will let someone roll a knowledge on that if they want to.
I want to roll on that.
I'm sorry, I don't trust this man anymore.
Oh, and that's fine.
Would this be
Intuition.
14 for me?
15 for me.
I'm gonna say Bryn. Bryn probably heard some rumor or some murmurings of a scandal a while back, in which some staffers in the union, in kind of the unionist camp, were photographed in relatively compromising positions, by which I mean like a bunch of them went out to a strip club and got pictures taken.
Good for them.
Acting the fool, as you do. And then not long after that, some traditionalists were also photographed at the exact same strip club.
Great. Call that tit for tat.
Why do they go to the same one?
Maybe it's a really good strip club.
They all have the same taste.
I mean, how many of these strip clubs are in a political capital? Actually, don't answer that.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it.
Listen, I've had a family who used to work in The Hague and in the Netherlands, and that is all they did.
Point being, you at least recall something that probably fits the bill of what went down last time.
I'm sorry to get so worked up about it. The issue is you say that he would just ignore it, but if something like that was brought to him, he could probably just say it was a lie. If it was brought up to Esther, they're so new in office that it would become a huger scandal than anything he would do. His stuff would just get brushed under the rug, whereas everyone's looking at us.
He kind of shrugs and says, you know, and that is certainly a valid belief. It's really up to you how safe you want to play it.
I believe the best thing to do right now is to be defensive rather than offensive.
He kind of sighs a bit and is like, well, I suppose that is the wise course of action. Although I really did hear that you guys are a lot more fun than you are.
Well, we're not on a battlefield. If you want to get a sword, I can show you.
Yeah, we're a
All
lot
that
more fun
said, though,
in action.
if you change your mind and want to go a bit on the offense, you know where to find me. But I'll leave you to it. I'm sure you have plenty to discuss after this discovery. And then
Quite.
he kind of waves and off he goes.
He seemed to have changed his tone quite a bit after he was shown that bug.
It's too nice.
I mean, he is very affable, but professionally so, I believe. Obviously, we are all here for our various agendas, and we are lucky if they align. They may not always align.
Something seems off about this. It seems like he's just always been around.
Very convenient that he managed to identify the one thing in here that had been bugged.
And very convenient that he hadn't left very far yet.
And very odd that all of a sudden that same jovial person became not so jovial.
I wouldn't put it past... I don't want to accuse anybody, but I wouldn't put it past him to have perhaps had a hand in planting this in order to get us to act and thus spur on, an endless loop of back and forth like he did with his scandals.
Well, Esther, then you have to be careful. I would do like a weekly sweep of your office, make sure there were no more bugs, and I don't know, maybe it would be good to kind of look into Lucius a little more. Or
Esther,
all the parties.
Esther has recovered a bottle of like extra strength.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
At first, I thought you were going to say alcohol, and I was like, damn it!
Yeah, let's break it out.
Like pops him, downs him with water, not with alcohol, and just like kind of slides into their desk.
Well, if you didn't find it, I do have a little pouch on the inside of my jacket that has some.
So far as you know, there is no flask yet, but I mean, at the rate we're going, that's gonna come pretty fast.
Hydrate.
But big drink of water. Just kind of knock that down, and then he just kind of slumps over and is like, I agree that it's probably worth investigating Lucius in some capacity. I don't know if leaving physical evidence like a bug is a great idea, but I definitely think Lucius probably did it, but I don't know.
But like the Unionists, they're like on our side, but not completely, right? So maybe we should keep an eye on them too, or do
Well,
some snooping around about them too.
they're honestly like, we will pretty much always vote for unionist policies because they're always going to be better than traditionalist policies. Usually the unionists will support us to some degree, but sometimes, as they put it, we get a bit too aggressive and we push too hard and they can't all support us. But we've always caucused together. We've always been allies. We used to be unionists.
Just seems odd. And I don't think it would just be, I mean, obviously Lucius is the obvious choice. But like, what if it's not just them who would plant the bug or whatever? Because there were a lot of people even on the unionist side that didn't really like the idea of us either.
I will note that the entirety of the unionist and the entirety of the Equalist Caucus did vote for you.
Okay, so in the end they voted for us, but
Yes.
were there people who were like iffy before then? If not, then I can be wrong.
According to Nevin, he offered to guarantee his caucus votes in their entirety if you could tarnish Lucius's reputation, but in the end they also voted for you.
Okay. So we're not quite sure where some of them sat, but that
that they all voted
they did
for
vote.
you.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whether that was your own words or they were going to do it anyway, or they thought you sufficiently mouthed off to Lucius, which, I mean, Faizon did a bit, but...
Yeah. Right, okay. I was just thinking if I needed to recon. But yeah. I mean, either way, a bug is a bug. Like, we should probably look into it.
It could be that they want to distract you from getting the real work done too, though.
So what would you guys like to do? As we have like half an hour, and if we are doing an investigation, I want to get through this so that I can hand Zach a nice completed and wrapped up adventure.
Great, yeah. Do we want to investigate this?
Or we want to go to where Esther wanted us to go.
Does Esther have like a list of their meetings from the last, like, when did they first move into this office?
The Esther's very new into this office.
Yeah.
So, but they've been in and out, like moving stuff in all sorts of meetings and orientations.
Mm-hmm.
And those are usually all staff affairs. So.
Mm-hmm. But there's no cameras or anything, like anyone could just get in without being noticed.
Yeah, it would be very easy to bug one of the
offices. It wouldn't be locked
if you have congressional access.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are meant to be in the building, you can access anyone's office without any difficulty.
And who would have congressional access that's usually here?
That's basically all of the representatives, of which Lucius is, and all of their staffers.
Can we check if there's anything else out of place? I know we checked for bugs earlier, but...
Yeah, go ahead and absolutely.
I'm doing my pro bit. 16.
You don't really especially detect anything else out of the ordinary.
Damn.
And like the dinosaur was like just sitting on a desk, right?
Yeah.
So it would have been pretty easy to just step in, shove the thing in the mouth, and go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe we'll find something in other offices. Maybe.
We could frame it as we're going around to introduce ourselves. And thank everyone for the vote.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we're just kind of creeping on people.
Perhaps a common area as well. Just
Yeah, perhaps a common area instead of just.
Yeah, there are a bunch of open meeting rooms, and then there's a cafeteria where most people will congregate, assuming that they're not going off to expensive dinners and lunches on the general streets outside, which is very popular if you're a traditionalist who has lined their pocket with taxpayer lucre.
Yeah, I bet. Yep.
Okay, so we can make a rounds and then introduce each other or say hi to everyone, get into their offices, look around, see if there's anything that would allude to anyone being suspicious or a culprit of putting the bug in Esther's room.
And that would take a very long time if we went
would
to
take
every.
Yes.
I
Okay,
think
just
maybe
the
we should-
suspects.
Yeah,
Or-
we should. Yeah, we should just perhaps just get a sense of if anybody's watching. Maybe look for any, I don't know, suspicious people who are observing Esther's office, or I don't know. This is a lot. We're only 4 people.
Yeah.
Were there any familiar faces to those that were in there that possibly might be working?
In
Who's
terms of
busy?
staffers, you did not recognize anyone that you've beaten up before.
That's specific.
It is incredibly
Excuse me?
Bryn, you were identified, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Could it be somebody from that might know you?
I mean, I guess it feels like it would be a weird way to target me, though. But
You are
then again, I
welcome-
wasn't expecting the questions.
You are welcome to roll on that if you want,
Sure.
Bryn.
Intuition?
Search your memories. You know it to be true or something.
14. I don't know it to be true.
Yeah, you know it not to be true. Or you know not to be true. I don't even know what I'm saying.
I don't know.
You can't think of anyone who would have bugged Esther's office to target you specifically.
Yeah, it just seems weird. Like, that guy was mad because we didn't date, and I don't think he would do that in Esther's office.
There was another one that seemed to imply that he knew you.
Yeah, they both did.
I'll give you another roll to see if you can recall
Yeah.
this. The older gentleman.
Yeah, maybe it's just the pressure of being up there.
15.
Okay, so you're starting to recall who that was. He's one of your parents' old friends. They just would sit and have dinner parties and talk
Yeah.
politics and ruining lives, the usual stuff.
But when the thing is, regardless of who he, it didn't seem like he was saying it with any ill will. He was just like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, you wouldn't have any reason to suspect that he would be after
Mhm.
you for anything like that. He's just
Making
he's a
conversation.
political friend of your parents,
Mhm.
and they gave him money.
Then
Yeah.
again, there was also that one traditionalist that questioned you, Gemma, that really came after who you were.
I will allow Bryn to roll that again. Because Bryn is the one with the connections for this.
I don't think I ever rolled on that one. 13.
13. That's still high enough.
Okay.
Because you do remember that asshole.
Okay.
Because he would give you crap as well.
Wow.
But is another case of your parents were donors to him, and he would show up to dinner parties, and he would always ask why you weren't married.
Because the only guy who ever showed up was that one.
Great.
I think the issue is it could be anyone.
So our choices are we check out Lucius and his office, or go to a open congregated place and see if there's anyone suspicious, or ignore for now and see if something comes up later while we're taking care of the thing for Esther, right?
Does the bug still work?
No, it got
No.
Yeah.
smushed.
Okay. That's what I was wondering because he was saying put another bug, so that's why I was like,
Yeah, well, he was kind of working up to like you guys should get a bug and put it in there. And if you wanted to go that route, you could probably get him to give you one.
Well, what I was thinking is we could put a bug in Esther's office back in there or something. The issues it broke, but if we had broken it, we could have fed people false information just in the future if we find another bug.
I will say in general, you couldn't repurpose someone else's bug, but it's not hard for you to get one of your own.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying if it hadn't been broken, we could have left it in the room and then we could have been like, we're gonna vote this way. And then
Use it for misdirection?
yes.
Yeah.
Esther wouldn't go for that.
No,
like
that's
Esther's
not
stressed
Esther's
enough
style.
without having a bug that they're like keenly aware of sitting in their office all the time.
And they're also not the type to spy on other people, even if they are being spied on.
Yeah. And Esther, who's just been generally letting you guys hash it out, will say it's like, yeah, I'm not super comfortable with the idea of bugging Lucius. I mean, we can't even prove that he did it, right?
Right. And that would be seen as, we're instigating something. So
Let's not do that.
yeah, let's not. Let's
But
not
like,
start
who would be
fights.
listening, or whoever's listening, must have like, where was the bug connected to? Like, it should be connected to a tape or something, right? Or some other room, right? So
you could certainly try and trace that signal down.
I would love to try and see
Yeah.
if we could do something like that.
Yes.
All right, so this is not something that I will be able to allow you to use Aura for. Because there's enough magic dampening in the area that you cannot trace it.
Fair.
But Esther does produce another odd little contraption and says, well, this might help. It can pick up some radio waves. You can give this a shot. So I will allow one person to make an intuition roll at a +2.
oh God. Who has
My
good
intuition is 10.
That's better than mine.
Mine's
Better than
7, so
mine.
So should I
you
do
go.
Yeah,
Okay.
very good.
I'm hacking into the system.
Bryn's the smart one in the party.
Bryn voice, I'm in.
14 +2, 16.
16. You managed to pick up a direction of plausible waves. This isn't proof, but it is in the general direction of Lucius's office.
Why don't we just like pop on by?
We'll just let's just go to the office and just
Let's just look.
let's just look
Follow
nearby.
that wave.
I'll be in the common area.
All right, so you head over to the office. His is a lot nicer. He's been around forever, and you're just kind of like walking through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he has a receptionist posted out by the door. His door is shut. And he seems to be in a meeting in his office.
Oh.
So are you just gonna pass by, or are you gonna attempt to engage the receptionist?
Can we pass by with the contraption and see if it beeps
I
or
would like
whatever?
to talk to the receptionist. Yes.
Okay.
I think I would like to approach and say, "Good afternoon. I would just like to thank the representative for engaging with us today. I was very interested to hear what he had to say. And of course, I wouldn't want to waste his time. If you could just let him know that we dropped by and just that we would love to have a chance to chat if he wants to. That would be great."
She kind of looks you up and down. You see a bit of recognition in her eyes, and just like, got it, hon. I'll let him know. She doesn't write anything down.
Can we see who he's meeting with?
Make an intuition roll.
Okay. 12.
Nope.
Nope.
You can make some inferences based on volume of chatter that is probably more traditionalists and they're doing their usual
Yeah.
rob the poor.
Would
to
anyone
the
like
rich shtick.
to? Because I think Faizon said that he was going to the common area, so he's not with us. Is that where,
almost like
what you
Faizon
said,
doesn't
Paul?
want to meet his half brother? Who knew?
Yeah, yeah. That was correct, right, Paul?
Yeah, is Faizon with them as they
no,
go?
common
To
area.
No. Okay.
Common area.
Yeah, I figured. I just wanted to make sure. But while I'm talking to the receptionist, does anyone want to like peek around or be nosy?
I do.
I think that Callon has the best chance of doing it without like
Without
See,
getting suspicion. Yeah,
Give me a
I
resolve
think so
roll,
too.
Kallon.
Resolve, you said?
Yeah, I think I can permit resolve for
Don't
this one.
be suspicious.
Okay.
Don't be suspicious.
18.
18.
Love you, Callon.
Baby boy.
And here's my next question: did you grab the fun radio thing?
Yes.
You got
I want to like use it as like a, what are those like water
like a metal
finder
detector.
things?
Or,
Yeah, or metal detector.
Or dowsing.
Dowsing, yeah.
You do get a hit. You detect the waves from the office. You can say so pretty definitively. And you manage to play it off like you're not doing anything.
Great.
So I'm just like
Even better.
wandering around, and then I'm gonna stop in front of the office, and then I'm gonna, when I notice that that's going off, I'm gonna go.
Oh, do you need to go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Oh, we should be going.
May I go
Thank
to
you
the
for your
bathroom, please?
time.
You can go to the bathroom.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Come back soon. In a tone that says, "Don't ever come back."
I hope your voicemail is always full.
Wow.
Ouch.
HeartShine crossing the line. Okay.
I think this email does not find you.
All right. Well, you've at least confirmed that the waves were coming from Lucius's office.
That's an important thing. Okay, so let's go tell Faizon what we found. I think.
Mhm. I'm gonna like skip down the hall.
So are you going to grab him in the common room or are you going to head back to Esther's office?
Grab him in the common room first, right?
Does he want to do an investigation in the common room?
I was going to get to that. I'm trying to figure out how this is going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we're
you guys
probably-
are going to head back to grab him in the common room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Faizon, while you were in the common room, are you just kind of observing? Or are you just getting some food? Because this is a cafeteria. So,
I guess I'm just observing.
all right. Most people are kind of avoiding you. Considering you are a knight and you are also shirtless. Or did you dress up?
I didn't dress up.
Okay, so as a shirtless knight standing in there, most people are kind of avoiding you. But
Cowards, all of
something
them.
about it tells you that that's probably at least partially your fault. Did you want to do anything while you were waiting for them to sort of do their stuff? Or did you just want to kind of look around, see if you can get a sense of the vibe?
Just kind of look around just to get a vibe check.
Give me an aura roll if you would. All right, that's a very good roll. So, in general, a lot of the staffers are kind of coming in here, getting meals, catching up, chatting business. You definitely can tell that you make them nervous because there aren't a lot of cavaliers and knights in the area, much less folks like yourself who are not wearing a shirt, as mentioned. But besides them just being kind of generally uneasy with you, most don't seem to otherwise be too shaken up by you as a concept, if that makes sense. Like, just seeing you there is kind of intimidating and unusual, but you get the impression that if you come here often enough, most people won't even blink in like a week or two. No one really seems to be paying you much mind. You're a new staffer. And then your party walks in.
We do this.
And starts waving at you excitedly.
Any interesting finds in your adventure?
You know, as it happens, yes, I believe Callon found something very interesting.
Yeah.
In the place we expected. So.
Mm-hmm. It was in Lucius's office.
Yeah, yes, thank you, Callon. You did a great
So-
job.
You are in the middle of the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Well, not the middle, like off to the side, but you are still in the public cafeteria.
That was
with a bunch
whispered.
of
That
stuff.
was whispered. But yes.
Yes.
Lucius was in his office. That's right. But he was in a meeting, so we
Yeah, he
couldn't
wouldn't
talk
meet
to
with us.
him.
We were
So-
turned away, and that was unfortunate. But you know, it's amazing what you can learn just by glancing around someone's office.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should
Got a
check back
lot
in
of
later.
information. Mm-hmm.
Why don't we walk and talk?
Yes.
Walking.
At least the adults know how to be discreet.
What are you talking about? That was discreet. It
Bryn's
was
learning.
whispered.
So are you guys just gonna head back to Esther's office to recap?
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta let them know like what's going on.
All right. So Esther takes the news with a incredible lack of shock and 2 more aspirin.
Hey.
You have to wait 2 hours before
Yes.
you take.
I wasn't
Listen-
at my maximum yet. I can
I
still
know-
have more.
Okay.
No,
well,
it's 2 per adult.
I am ordering us food for the office right now, and HeartShine like orders food, but like just like a little of everything for one, and then like you're going to eat something with those before you take those. We'll order food, and when it gets here, then you can take 2 more. Okay?
Question.
Fine.
Question.
Yes.
We were just bugged with a dinosaur here. Is there a possible chance that anything we use, phones, any sort of communication can be traced as well?
Having based on what you found, and then when I looked into it myself while you were out, there doesn't seem to be anything on my phone lines. Well, outside of the usual technology, because I am a government office, I guess you could say all of my communications with the official phone are bugged. Just as
to
a
an
matter of
extent,
course.
yes.
All my emails are tracked. Anything I send or you send when you get set up with your official government emails will be tracked, and any citizen could get their hands on it if they requested it.
So be professional.
Keep that in mind.
Yes.
Got it. Callon,
Yeah. Deleting my
that we
post
talked
already.
about. Okay, great. Just so long as you are aware, and just if you're not sure, just ask.
Okay.
I'll
Mhm.
remind you too that not to take any pictures or post any internal goings on.
Right. Okay.
I did do like a cute little first day of work selfie, but I am deleting it now.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Like that kind of thing probably won't get you in trouble, but in general, you shouldn't be taking pictures inside of the state building. You can take pictures outside though. That's fine.
Okay.
We'll do your photo.
Yeah,
good
Callon, if
photo.
you want to do a dance video or something outside, we can do
Oh my god, we'll gain followers like crazy.
that.
Just don't go into no club.
Yes, no props.
Don't go to the one strip club, please.
Yeah,
You're
that
also
one is
11
just-
and baby. Don't go anywhere. So the cafeteria is gonna send up some like salads and pizza and burgers and stuff like that. Pretty standard,
Yay.
greasy, but caloric food. So Esther will dutifully eat more before downing yet more aspirin. Frankly, they deserve it.
You know what? They do. They do.
Yeah.
So was there anything else you guys wanted to do in terms of this investigation?
I think it would be wise to just keep that information in the back of our heads, and have Esther think about it. But as far as us, I don't think we want to take any action right now, right?
Mm-mm.
I don't
All
think
right.
we need to.
Although when
Fantastic.
Faizon wants to attack, I'm ready. I'm ready. So ready. I've got my hair clips ready to go.
Oh, I'll be ready. Should we ever have to do something like that?
And we're here to back you up, bud.
All right. Well, I will say then, with all of that, we will go ahead and close off for tonight. Thank you to our phenomenal cast as always. Thank you to Charu, who is running the stream behind the scenes. And especially thank you for putting up with all of our weird tech issues that we've had. We very much appreciate that. Because Zach cursed us by not being available tonight. And for that, we shall suffer. Announcements.
Yes.
We are a bi-weekly game. So our next meeting will be on, I believe, the 5th. And we get to now make our first guest announcement. So for those who are new to Wind Riders, we love getting other voice actors to come in and fulfill some guest slots. Last season, we got to have some phenomenal people join us, and we hope to bring that back again this season. So we will be bringing Karina Bodiger. I'm praying that I pronounced that right. If you see this later, Karina, and I pronounced it wrong, I am sorry. You may flay me alive. I will deserve it. So they voiced Paimon in Genshin Impact, as well as a number of other very amazing roles. But Paimon is definitely the one I most know, aka the emergency food. So they will be joining us on the 5th as a guest, and we are super excited to have them. We'll be announcing more on that. And this season, we are working to do a bit more to make sure that the guests get a nice, proper, tailored experience. So I actually have a meeting with them this Saturday to figure out what kind of adventure we're going to be running for them. So that will be exciting. Look forward to it. But once again, my name is Liana MacKenzie. I am the substitute game master and also the owner of Valor's Games and co-creator of Valor. Thank you for joining us as we play my system. I'm always super happy to have it played, especially with such an amazing group of people. Emil, if you would. Go ahead and say a bit about yourself as we sign.
I forgot. I'm Lily Emil. I play female believer in Genshin Impact. I do play a few other named roles in it, but I always think about female believer. She's my number one.
You got a bunch of kids too, like
I do. I have like 5 different kids.
I remember
female believer's the old. Like there's other ones.
Kids.
I'm really Emil out of context. I have a lot of kids.
But female believer is my favorite because she doesn't have a name and she's just a woman.
I love her. When I heard her, I went, that's my friend.
We stand her. She believes. She believes in you and all my friends. You can follow me at Lily Emil Lammers on most things. Yeah.
Fantastic. Tamara.
Hi, Tamara again. You can find me pretty much anywhere online at Total Spiffage. I occasionally stream, hopefully premiering a new layout this week, which should be fun. So look out for that. We're going with the ocean theme because I sometimes use Tide online as a new alias for the
a very good one, if I may admit, as a fellow water lover.
I love the sea. Do I live near it? No. Do I love it? Yes. But that's it for me. Thank you so much.
Awesome. And the illustrious Paul Greene-Dennis.
Hi, Paul here. You can follow me. Actually, my Twitter is DeepGreenVO. if you want to follow me there, or my website if you want to check that out. But I'm always around.
I'm gonna find a way to get you to do some opera for us one of these seasons.
That would be
That
so
is-
cool.
That is my goal because you have such a killer voice. And then the amazing and fantastic Francesca.
Hello, I'm Francesca again. You can find me on Twitter at Monet at Work, or Instagram at Fernanograms, but you can also just search my name and it should pop up. Or if not, it's on my website. Thanks for joining. Yay!
Awesome. All right. Have a good night, everyone, and we will see you on the 5th with a wonderful guest slot and an exciting new adventure. Bye.